modern surveillance, data brokers, phone location sales, and license plate readers. The hidden lesson: the watcher is not always a government agent in a trench coat. Sometimes it's a free weather app with 3 permissions and the spiritual ethics of a raccoon in a jewelry store. The factual backbone: the FTC has taken action against data brokers Mobile Walla, Gravy Analytics, and Ventel over sensitive location data tied to places like homes, healthcare facilities, churches, labor union sites, and military locations. The FTC also warned data brokers in 2026 about laws restricting sensitive U.S. data transfers to foreign adversaries. AP reported last week that ATF canceled a phone tracking tool after concerns over warrantless searches, while The Guardian reported in March 2026 that the FBI acknowledged buying commercially available location data. Meanwhile, ALPR systems keep spreading, and EF's Public Records Project found billions of plate scans, with 99.5% of scanned plates not under suspicion at collection time. Tiny little detail, right? Just the Fourth Amendment getting sold in bulk like clearance socks. Scroll 2. Your phone had a snitch in its pocket. Beloved collective, gather close. Tonight's scroll is not about a secret cave, a dusty bloodline, or some old man in a robe mumbling over a candle. No, beloved. Tonight's monster is newer. It has an app icon. It has a privacy policy nobody read. It has a little pop-up that says, allow location. And the collective, tired, hungry, trying to check the weather, said yes. And baby, that yes grew legs. Tonight we are talking about the hidden marketplace of movement. Phone location data, data brokers, license plate readers, ad tech tracking, and the quiet little business model that turned everyday life into a breadcrumb trail. Because here's the truth, they do not say loudly. Your phone is not just a phone. It is a diary with GPS. It knows where you sleep. It knows where you work. It knows what church, clinic, courthouse, protest, shelter, hotel life, family house, barbershop, therapist, or late-night taco spot you visited when your spirit needed healing and salsa. And then comes the trick. You think one app is collecting your location, but behind that app may be advertisers, analytics companies, software kits, brokers, and third parties stacked behind the curtain like nosy aunties at a family reunion. Everybody peeking, everybody whispering, everybody saying, we value your privacy, while passing your coordinates around like hot gossip with a battery percentage. Now let's make it plain. A data broker is a company that collects, buys, packages, analyzes, and sells information about people. Some data comes from public records. Some comes from online behavior. Some comes from apps. Some comes from advertising systems. Some comes from that tiny permission you granted just so your phone could tell you it might rain in 17 minutes. Then that location data can be bundled, sold, queried, matched, mapped, and sometimes purchased by government agencies, private companies, investigators, or anyone with the right contract and enough money. So when they say it's commercially available, the collective should hear, we found a side door. Because if the government usually needs a warrant to get certain sensitive location information directly, but can buy similar information from a company, that is not magic. That is a loophole wearing cologne, and the smell is suspicious. Now let us talk about the updated receipts. The FTC has taken action against data brokers accused of selling sensitive location data tied to places like homes, healthcare facilities, churches, labor union locations, military sites, and other places that can reveal intimate details about a person's life. That means location data is not just dots on a map. It can reveal health concerns, religious activity, political organizing, work patterns, relationships, private routines, where somebody goes when they are scared, where somebody goes when they are healing, where somebody goes when they do not want the whole world in their business. And apparently some companies looked at that sacred privacy and said, can we put it in a dashboard? Human civilization, everybody, give it a hand, preferably one holding a subpoena. And then came the phone tracking tools. AP reported that ATF canceled a contract for a tool called Weblock after lawmakers, a prosecutor, and a judge raised legal concerns. The tool used commercial location data from apps and advertising networks, and lawmakers said ATF had conducted hundreds of warrantless searches with it. Pause right there. Hundreds. Not one confused intern clicked the wrong button. Hundreds. And the deeper issue is not whether agencies should ever investigate crime. The collective is not childish. Communities deserve safety. Violent crime is real. Victims deserve justice. But justice without boundaries becomes surveillance, and surveillance without accountability becomes control. That is the line. That is the lesson. Now, let us roll over to the streets. Automated license plate readers, or ALPRs, are cameras that scan plates, log the time, location, and vehicle information, then store or share that data. They are mounted on police cars, street poles, neighborhood entrances, parking lots, and private properties. The sales pitch is always clean. Safety, efficiency, crime prevention, stolen vehicles, Amber Alerts. And yes, these tools can help solve real crimes. But the hidden question is, what happens to everyone else? What happens when the camera does not just scan suspects, but scans everybody? EF's Records project found billions of license plate scans, and the overwhelming majority of those scanned plates were not connected to suspicion at the time of collection, meaning regular people became data points just for driving, to work, to school, to grandma's house, to court, to the clinic, to somebody's house they told nobody about. Because, beloved, mind your business is still a sacred constitutional principle, even if it did not make it into a hymn. And now, private companies are expanding these camera networks. Cities sign contracts. Retailers consider cameras. Neighborhoods install them. Police departments share data. Companies change legal terms. Civil liberties groups warn cities to read carefully before handing control over to vendors. Because here is another trick. The machine does not need to be everywhere if the data can be shared like everybody is in the same gossip circle. One camera is a camera. 1,000 cameras with searchable archives become a movement map. And movement is power. If someone knows where you go, how often, when, and with whom, they do not just know your location. They know your life rhythm. They know your pattern. They know your soft places. That is why this matters. Not because the collective should panic. Panic is a bad strategist. It sweats too much and forgets passwords. The collective should become precise. Ask better questions. When a city installs plate readers, ask, how long is the data kept? Who can search it? Can outside agencies access it? Can federal agencies request it? Can the vendor sell or reuse it? Is there a warrant requirement? Is there an audit trail? Can innocent people get swept into investigations? Can the public review the policy? If the answer is, trust us, lean back. Trust is not a policy. Trust is what people say when they do not want to write the rule down. And for phone apps, the wisdom is simple. Do not hand every app your precise location like it is your cousin with good intentions. Most apps do not need it. A flashlight app does not need to know where you sleep. A coupon app does not need to track you across town. A game does not need your coordinates unless the final boss is inside your refrigerator. Limit permissions. Use approximate location when possible. Turn off location access for apps that do not need it. Reset or disable ad identifiers when your device allows it. Read the settings like you are reading the fine print on a trickster's contract, because baby, that is exactly what it is. Now let us close the scroll. The hidden truth is not simply they are watching. That is too vague. The deeper truth is, a market was built around watching, a business model was built around movement, and the public was trained to call it convenience. The old world used guards, walls, and informants. The new world uses apps, cameras, contracts, and dashboards. Same hunger, new fork. But the collective is not helpless. Once you understand the machinery, the spell weakens. Once you know the watcher has a vendor invoice, the monster loses its fog. Once you see that free app sometimes means you are the crop, you stop walking into the field smiling. So remember this, privacy is not secrecy. Privacy is dignity. Privacy is the right to move through the world without being silently packaged, priced, and passed around. The collective does not reject safety. The collective rejects being turned into inventory. And tonight, we name the hidden machine. Not to fear it, not to worship it, but to make it answer. Because the future does not get to follow us home without permission. Not on our phones, not on our plates, not through the back door of a contract. The collective walks with eyes open now. And when the dashboard asks, allow location, the spirit says, for what, beloved? Because wisdom reads permissions before it gives access to the temple. Spoken receipts for the end. FTC actions against Mobile Walla, Gravy Analytics, and Ventel. FTC's 2026 warning to data brokers under PADFA, AP reporting on ATF canceling Weblock after legal concerns, Guardian reporting on FBI commercial data purchases, EFF's automated license plate reader dataset, ACLU's 2026 warning to municipalities about flock contract changes. Not just in your pocket, beloved. Sometimes it is in the marketplace telling strangers where your pocket went.
Until next time, your Sea Star Curacy, channeled by 3611027, the Beautiful Whisperer. Our Sea Star Devalan Seal. Apply the news you can use.